All right, I think we can go ahead and get going now. So thank you all for being patient while we let excuse me, some other people log in today. My name is Jim Coppinger with Zentech Consultants, and I'm going to be your presenter today. And I want to thank you for joining us for a presentation on Microsoft Teams and how it works in the AAC community, particularly with the intensive amount of communications that we all have to work with here. So let's just jump in here, and for those of you who haven't been with us before, we are Zentech Consultants. We're a certified Microsoft Cloud Solutions provider. We work primarily with the AEC market. That's kind of our bread and butter. So what does that really mean? Well, as a Microsoft Premier Partner, it means that we are here to help you guys buy, install, upgrade, train on anything related to your Microsoft products. And in particular, we really focus very heavily on the Office 365 platform, which Microsoft Teams is a component of. Right? So that's what I want to, hopefully you guys will take away and keep us in mind today. And remember, a very important tip that I know a lot of folks out there buy their software and their Office 365 direct from Microsoft. Microsoft partners can always give you a discount. It's always cheaper to talk to us. We can always give you better support, more direct access to helping you guys, and always beat the Microsoft price. So something for you guys to keep in mind. So that's it for the sales pitch. Excuse me. So today we're here to talk about Microsoft Teams and what it really means to you guys. All right, so what is Microsoft Teams? Microsoft Teams, it's an Office 365 based application, right? And it's really essentially a chat-based work area. Now, before you guys start shaking your head going, nope, no chat at work, I don't want to deal with that, I want you to understand that this isn't some basic instant messenger type AIM program for people to keep chatting back and forth throughout the day instead of doing their work. What we're really talking about is a really robust online communication and collaboration tool here with Team. It's been designed specifically for business use across broad spectrums of offices and organizations. Okay. Now, just to kind of throw in here, I saw that we did have a lot of folks who signed up for this presentation over the last week. And maybe that's just part of the marketing on our part, but I have to assume that a lot of you guys probably saw the news that leaked out of Microsoft just about a week ago. It was one of those accidental things that leaked out, and they went, well, yeah, okay, that's happening. Microsoft Teams is the product of the future as far as communication tools with Microsoft. So what does that mean? It means that to date, the big conferencing and telecommunication and chatting tool has been Skype for Business. And they released that Skype for Business is going away, and all of their functionality from Skype is going to be ported. Most of it's actually already in Microsoft Teams. And moving forward, Teams is going to be their entire communication center. Okay, so it's a very important application. It's one that everybody's going to be using over the next few years. You're not going to have a choice. Microsoft will continue support for Skype for Business, but it won't be actively developed moving forward. Teams is going to be the way to go. And the other thing for those of you who maybe aren't on Office 365 yet, just another little piece of Microsoft news. There are a lot of you out there who I know who are still kind of hesitant about making the move to the Office 365. You still have the old desktop versions of Microsoft Office installed. Just so you guys realize that will be discontinued at the end of 2019. And the only access you will have to the Office product lines of Word and Outlook, Excel, etc. is in the Office 365 platform. So just so you guys know, that's coming up, and those are things you want to take into consideration from a business standpoint. And our recommendation is to always start planning that rollout in advance and getting your folks up and into the Office 365 before you have to avoid that last minute crash and that unexpected expense of trying to convert 100 people over all at once. That's never a fun task. So, and Zentech, of course, is here to help you with that. So let's get back to Microsoft Teams. So Microsoft Teams, it's this one central idea where you can build teams, and those teams can be within your own office. And this is a recent upgrade that they've made to the team and group structure inside of Office 365, that you can actually invite people who are excuse me, outside of your office to participate in a team. So if you're the architect and you need to bring in the business owner or engineers or whoever else to help keep communications going on a design build project, you can do that with Team. Okay, so the concept behind Team is that you want your people to be able to communicate in the moment. All right, you want to have the centralized communication center where they can chat with each other. You can keep the records of the chats, right, that are available to everybody on the team to see, kind of like you see in that screenshot over here, right, where you can actually kind of go back and read who said what and where. You want to have people be able to call other members of the team, send out group messages to the entire team, all right, do video conferencing, online Skype meeting, right, VoIP, dial-in audio, conferences, all of those tools and functions that you've always had with Microsoft, but they've been in 4 or 5 different packages. Okay, you now have this ability to have it all functioning in one really tight structure. And the beautiful thing about working with Team is that it's really easy to set up multiple teams with multiple conversation threads for each team. It's, and we're going to get into that, and it's just has a really, really useful dynamic. Okay. The other thing that's really nice about this is it is a fully integrated Office 365 application. What does that mean? Well, for those of you who are already working in Office 365, you know that there are dozens of applications above and beyond the basic Outlook, Excel, PowerPoint kind of tools. There's SharePoint and OneNote and Power BI and Planner and Yammer and all of these different applications. Well, the great thing about it is that Team fully integrates and gives you access and lets you pull data and post data to all of those other applications. So really the whole long-term goal here with Office 365 that Microsoft is pushing real hard towards is giving you the ability to have one centralized point where you can actively go out and make use of all of those applications that a lot of us haven't even looked at to date inside of Office 365. Okay, so it lets you access literally all the other Office 365 applications right out of Team. Right? And Team is important for us in the AEC world, and particularly when we're dealing with like design build projects, because it's all built around teams. That's how we work. Right? We're constantly planning, discussing, reviewing, marking up, sharing, calling. Right? And there's always this need to be able to share your phone conversation or your email trail with not just the person you were talking to, but the other 20 people who were involved in this particular project. Right? And this is a real easy, real-time way to be able to share all of that information with everybody and keep them all in the same page. So having said that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys a real short, easy overview demo of Teams and what it does. So let me just bring over my web page here. You see that I'm already logged in excuse me, to my Office 365 account. Right? And you see that here are all of the applications that come as part of the Office 365. There are actually more, but these are the bulk of them right here. And like I said, Teams is right here, right? And the beautiful thing about Teams is it's connected to all the other ones. So any work that you do in Delve or Tasks or Yammer and Dynamics 365, all of that can link and be connected to, and that information can be shared through Teams. Right? So let's go ahead and jump into Teams. We activate it just by clicking on the Teams button. Right? And you see that will actually come in, and it'll open that up. Takes a second, right? And it's loading my Microsoft Teams for me. It's going to be a little slow because I'm doing a big video share here, and I got a whole bunch of other stuff running in the background. Okay, so the idea here with Teams is that you can go in and you can build your own custom teams. Right? So I'm going to start off just by showing you. I'm going to click over here on the left side on the Teams icon, and you see that I've already got a team working. Right? I've got my Zentek management team. And the idea is that in each team you can create teams, and we'll actually create one in just a second. But then you can just come up here and you actually, just by clicking here, you can view all the members of your team. You can add and remove members. You can leave a team. Right? You can get a link to a team if you want to invite other people outside of your company to come in and be part of the team. You can send them a link. You can even delete teams when a project's done. Right? It's really, really easy to come in here and edit and modify teams. Right? So if I want to go in and view this team and see who's part of this team, right? I can see it's myself and my partner Rocco. That's it. We're the two people who are part of that management team right now. Right? And you see that as we work in here, right? I can add new members. I can search throughout my entire company directory to add members. All right, I can click on the Add Members button to add additional people. Right? And underneath every single one of your teams, you get this concept of what they call a channel. Okay, you see here right now I have one channel. It's my fourth quarter marketing meeting plan. Okay, and a channel is, think of it in terms of, particularly from a design build standpoint, you can think of it as a task or some kind of grouped tasks. So from a design build standpoint, you know what? Let's do it this way. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a new team. Just to show you, just click the Add Team button. Right? And I'm going to create a new team. Right? Let's go ahead and we'll just call this our design team. Okay? Just giving it a name, right? And it can be a design team for a particular project or your overall engineering group or your landscape design group. Doesn't matter. You're just going to create a team. And here you can give a description, whatever you want people to know about this. Just type what this is, okay? And then down here you get the ability to make it private or public. Now, public means exactly what it says here, that anybody in your organization, right, anybody who's in your domain can join this group if they want to, right? Or you can make it private, which is usually the best case. Most people will opt for private, where you actually, as the team owner, invite people to this team. So this way it keeps it from being cluttered and you're not having people who really aren't going to be adding anything to the conversation as part of this team, right? So it's as simple as that, right? You're just going in and you say, okay, and I'm just going to go next, right? And it goes ahead and it's creating that team. Now I can just go in and I can start adding people in groups, right, from my own distribution list and organization, right? So if I want to go in and I want to make sure that I'm going to add, Rocco to this group, say I can just go right in here and say, oh, there's Rocco. I can just start typing and find all the people that I want to add, and I just keep adding people, right? I can click the Add button and it'll open up my whole company's Outlook directory, just like what you guys are used to emailing to, and you can just pick people or groups from there, right? And just go ahead and I'm going to say I'm going to add Rocco, okay? So for right now, that's all, right? And you can see I can actually adjust his settings, right? He's set as a member, but I could actually switch that and make him a team leader if I wanted to, right? And I can even have people join as guests outside of my company. So here I've got a design team, right? So I've built my team. I know all the people who were part of it. And now I can come here and I can just start conversations, right? I can start typing in, whatever I want. Hey guys, oh, my typing is bad. Kickoff meeting is tomorrow. And this goes out to everybody, and everybody in the entire team can now see this, right? I'm doing a public setup. Right? And here I can actually go in, I can mark it as read, unread. People can like or bookmark or save the message. Okay? So that's just kind of a general structure. And here when you're doing the conversations, by the way, and it's a little small, you can actually make that much larger just by clicking this this button here. And you see you've got full font structure. You can go into bold, italics, underline, paragraphs, numbering, some basic word type formatting structures, right? As you want to do the open conversation. And if you want to draw it, just like you can online, right? You can go ahead and you use the @ So I could put the, this @ Rocco, and it will actually draw it to mention him and highlight and notify him that someone mentioned him specifically in a conversation. I can go in and I can attach files, right, to this. I can attach images to this, right? I can go in and I can actually start meetings right from here. So if I want to start a meeting about this new topic, I can do that. It even has, I don't know how beneficial these are. I think it's a little overlap between the personal world and the business world, but you do have a whole list of emojis that you can use, right? And you've even got a whole list of stickers and stuff that you can put in here. I really don't know where these are particularly useful, but they're there. They're part of it if you guys want, right? So the big idea here, though, is that what we want to do, so you see I've got my design team, and it started what's called a general channel. Right? Just by default, it always creates a general. It's just open conversation. You just want to have information and talk to people throughout the entire team. But you can go in and you can add channels or topics for specific functions, okay? Maybe I want to add a channel here that's going to be the preliminary design process, okay? Again, I apologize for my typing. And I can go in and I can add a description about what we're going to cover in here, all right? But now I can start a conversation, right, that is just about the preliminary design, right? And it just takes a second while it builds it. So now you see all I've done is I've created another group. So this way I can actually start to segregate conversations. And the only people who are going to be interested here and working in this channel, okay, are people who are going to be part of that preliminary design process, right? So now I can go in and I can edit the channel, right? And I can change the name if I misspelled anything, right? I can go in and I can get Outlook plug connectors for different apps and whatnot, and you see that I can pull it from all of the different, I can pull information and RSS feeds from Yammer, GitHub, Google Analytics. I can connect this to just about everything in the world, Facebook pages, right? And I can set sorting and linking features through social media accounts. So if anything that the client posts about this new project will automatically get read from his Facebook page and posted to this preliminary design process. Right? There's just an incredible amount of data that you can add there, right? I can get links to the channel, again, if I want to add people, or I can even go in, if I'm not part of a channel, I'm on the design team, right? But nobody actually, I wasn't part of this preliminary design process, I can just go in, right, and click here and say, hey, I want to follow this channel, so I get notified. Anytime anybody does anything in this channel, I get notification of it. Okay, so no problem there. I can go ahead and handle all that. So when you're on a channel, right, I click on a channel, I can send general conversations to everybody, but I can do a lot more when I'm here, right? So there's the conversations, but I can actually also go in and I can control files and file connections, okay? So, and I get options here. I can share files in this channel. I can upload files, get links, but I can also open them from SharePoint or OneDrive. Right? I can even add cloud storage locations like Dropbox and Google Drive and ShareFile directly here so that my team can share files in the cloud back and forth as part of the team. Okay? I can create my own wiki page for this team where we can have detailed information. Hey, here's the preliminary specification. Okay? Here's the the listing of the design team. Here's all the contact information for all the clients and PMs and construction supers for this job. I can list that all right here, and people just click over here, and there's all the data they need. And I can add additional pages and sections, just like you can on any other wiki page, right? I can even go in and I can add tabs for all of my Microsoft Outlook applications, right? So if I want to add a tab for Planner, right? Because we use Planner to do detailed scheduling and planning for this job. I can just have a Planner tab so people can just click over there and see everything I've built in Planner or OneNote or really anything that you work, surveys, SharePoint, Trello, YouTube, PowerPoint, Excel. Doesn't matter. Literally just about any Microsoft Office 365 application can be added as just another tab, and it'll just add each of the tabs going across here. So you can get the business analytics for this project, or you can get all the shared files and so on. Okay, so you can go in and you can work with all of the different people, okay, to work with it. So that's kind of just the overall team structure we're working here. But you get the other ability here to go in and chat with people. Okay, so this is where I said you can actually go in and you can work the chat in real time. So here, if I want to just go over and click on Rocco, or I can search for people's names, right, up in here that I want to chat with. All right, and if I want to chat with Rocco, I can just go ahead and say, hey Rocco, I'm doing the demo right now. Right? So I can just send him that. That'll pop up on his screen inside of Teams. He's actually not there right now. And you know how I know that? Because it's telling me right now that this user is currently using Skype for Business. And that's the beauty of this. It's already fully integrated with that Skype for Business. So you can communicate with people who are actively in Skype, and I can send him Skype messages here, or I can invite him to use the Microsoft Team right now. But I can also just use standard calling and video calling features inside of Skype right from here. Okay, I can just go ahead and start a phone call. I can start a video call, no problem. Just bring it up and work with him, right? So I have all of that functionality built right here. I can send him a link for mobile apps if he wants to download it to his phone, because the other beauty about working with Office 365 is it's not just desktop based. It also integrates with tablets and smartphones. So you can hold these conversations and meeting and all these communication items from any object that you have, right? Whatever the device is. I click on top, it'll show me reach and activities, any place where I've been mentioned in replies or anything that anybody's said. Like I said before, I said I could put like at Rocco Parisi. It would show for Rocco that I mentioned him, and he can kind of track all the conversations that pertain to him. Right? I can even come down and I can schedule meetings. Right? It shows my current calendar, it's showing my calendar for today. Right? And it'll show the other members' calendars as well if I need it. I can search and look at other team members' calendars. So if I want to see Rocco's, I can switch there. And I can schedule meetings for the team. I can schedule entire team meetings. Right? I can say who has to be here, right? Who's optional, right? I can invite, as you can see, entire groups. I can take the whole group. I can title the meetings, date, times, details, attach files, and so on. Right? No problem. I can do that all right from here. Right? And again, I even have a full files structure. And what's great about this is it shows me here are all my recently accessed files, right? But here, if I come down and I click on Microsoft Teams, it's going to show me what all the members of my team have worked on, right? So it's going to show me all the files they've opened from OneDrive or SharePoint or Dropbox. I can actually open and see what files everybody on this team has been working on. So I can check, has anybody looked at the preliminary sketches? Has anybody looked at the comments and markups that someone did, right? And I can go right to all of my enabled cloud storage, OneDrive and Skype and Dropbox, all of those different areas, right? And like I said before, you can add additional cloud storage locations. So the idea behind Team, like I said in the beginning, is just to have this one simple to use, easy interface where you can build teams, and for each team, you can just go in and build your individual channels, right? For the preliminary design process, review by town engineer, planning board approval process, whatever keystone events and processes you want to keep track of, you can just build those in here, and then only the appropriate people will be part of the conversations as you go, right? Which is a great setup, and you can add as many teams as you need. And the great thing from a security and access standpoint is that this is all fully integrated with your overall Office 365 administrative functionality. Right? So your IT guys, whoever is handling, or if you want to have Zentek, we're always here to help you with that. When you set up your structures and your team and your users and your security and compliance, all of those overall structures that you have laid down will actually apply here in Teams as well. So it's a real simple way to build and work with the Office 365 structure. Thank you guys for joining us today, and if you have any questions or concerns, or there's anything we can do to help you on your Microsoft side, please feel free to reach out to us. And I want to thank you guys for spending time today with Zentek. Have a great afternoon.